All right, in this video, folks, you're gonna wanna watch the entire thing because I'm going to explain how your hips can help fix and save your lower back, hopefully, ideally preventing all injuries. So my goal with this video is to put every physical therapist out of business. I know, I love physical therapists. I've worked with a large number, more than 10, all of which hate me because I ask just an insane amount of questions. No, I'm just kidding, they don't hate me, but I'm an unrelenting student, okay? And what that means for you is I am going to offer you not just one way or two ways, an infinite amount of ways, because I wanna teach you how to diagnose yourself. Very, very, very important, okay? And the first way we're gonna do that is we're gonna look at the relationship we have with our hips and the back of our legs. It's called your hamstrings, okay? So lower back pain can be caused by tight hamstrings. Tight hamstrings. What was that? Tight. All right, anyways. Lower back pain can be caused by tight hamstrings. Now, there's a very simple way to test the tight hamstrings. It's called the forward fold. So I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna reach down. If I can't get to my toes, you're gonna go ahead and assume that your hamstrings are tight, in which case some of your lower back pain may be contributed to the fact that you need to stretch your hamstrings. Now, what's tricky about lower backs and what makes physical therapy such a hard practice is you can actually have the same back pain but have incredibly flexible hamstrings. I'm talking like woo, all the way down, easy money. Why do I still have back pain? Okay? So, tight hamstrings is not the only reason that people have lower back pain. Another one is tight hip flexors, okay? So the hip flexor test is a little bit trickier when you're trying to do it yourself. We usually use a table and some more what's called, and it doesn't matter, passive range of motion testing. Anyways, so what I would do if I'm you, right, is I would go ahead and I would get down on one knee like so, and I'm just gonna start in this lunge position, okay? Nice and neutral. So if my hip flexors are tight, just being in this position, I'm going to start feeling a stretch through my stomach, through my upper hip. Okay? Today, my hips are tight. I can feel that I'm already stretching. Now, this is considered a passive movement because I'm not moving. And if I'm feeling stretch in this simple range of motion, it's almost a guarantee that my hip flexors are tight. If you don't really feel any stretch, right, and you have to lunge into this huge deep stretch to get it, your hip flexors are probably not that tight, in which case that's probably not your diagnosis. So something to think about there with the hamstrings or the hip flexors. And then the last piece, another one that's tight, might be causing lower back pain, is the glutes, okay, the tight glutes. Now, 90% of the time, people have weak glutes. Okay, most people have weak glutes. However, there are some cases where you have tight glutes. And the one that we know and the easiest way to test this is the same thing. It's a flexibility test. So I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna be on the ground, okay, like so. This is called figure 4. If you guys have been watching our videos, you guys know. So I'm gonna cross here. I'm gonna cross my ankle to my knee. I'm gonna take my arm and I'm gonna push on it, right? If I can't get 90 degrees, so if you watch my knee here, if I can't get this to open up all the way, you can go ahead and assume your glutes are tight and you need to stretch them. Like I said, most people have this range of motion and they need to strengthen their glutes. So, quick review, you can test the hamstrings, tight hamstrings. You can test your hip flexors for tight hip flexors. You can test your glutes for tight glutes. Those are 3 ways in which immobility can cause lower back pain. The trick is people with hypermobility could exhibit the exact same symptoms, okay? So what you wanna do first, and this is exactly how I run my diagnostic, and it's exactly how people that I work with run their diagnostic, is first test your flexibility, right? Test the hamstring, test the glute, test the hip flexor. On your own, I just taught you that, just saved you $7,000, okay? Test that. If your flexibility is normal, then we need to go into what is called, well, it's an activation test, but then you want to start looking at ways to strengthen the hips rather than increase the flexibility. I think, and I'm going to end with this, a big mistake that a lot of practitioners make as well as students is they think they need to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch, right? If a muscle is, by the way, I used to make the mistake, if a muscle is not tight, you don't necessarily need to stretch it. So just doing stretches mindlessly without actually assessing your flexibility can actually cause more problems. Am I saying don't stretch? No. I'm just saying if you just stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch, but you're not seeing progress, you're not getting out of pain, it's not because of your flexibility, folks, it's because of your strength. Okay, Coach George, he might be watching this, he knows, he used to hound on me because I used to just stretch forever. So our goal is to come up with a way to diagnose ourselves. Right? And that's how you're going to understand the relationship between the hips and the lower back, is to diagnose your own flexibility, see if it's a flexibility issue, okay? If it's not a flexibility issue, then we're going to move into a strengthening pose and strengthening routine to try to stabilize the hips to let the back move a little bit less. That will be tomorrow's video. Tomorrow we'll do strengthening the hips and strengthening the back in addition to our lower body workout. So these educational content videos, I hope you guys are enjoying them. I want you to essentially like these, share these. I mean, if you like it, like these, share these. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We are building and building up. In addition to these, I have been posting 5 workouts a week, but in about 6 weeks, these videos are going to be for subscribers only. And the reason that I'm doing that, number one, is to start a community of like-minded individuals who can work together to help each other get to our goals, because just me is not enough. 2 is we're going to be using most of the funds. I mean, it's going to be a nonprofit, right? We're going to be using most of the funds to spread the message, to carry it out to people who also need this advice, because there's a lot of people who essentially are having pain or in the older aging population or just don't know anything about exercise that don't know about this material. They don't know me, they don't know the community, and we need to find them, folks. So we're going to use most of the money to go ahead and reach out to those people and start to build a community. And I'll end with this, folks. Health is the #1 priority, okay? Health is wealth. It doesn't matter how much money you have, cars, fame, success. If your body is a wreck, you will not enjoy your life, okay? So you need to take that seriously. You need to put in effort, right? You need to remind yourself on a daily basis that when you take care of yourself, you're doing yourself an amazing service, and in a weird way that you might not see, you're also doing the world a service, okay? So with that, we're gonna jump in. It's gonna be purple shirt today. It's gonna still be on YouTube, so don't worry about that. And we're gonna get after it full 30-minute stretch routine, okay? So, I'm Coach Russo. This is You'll Be Fit Forever. Peace.